Hello, today we will discuss how automating the accounts payable process can help K-12 school districts achieve budgetary and strategic success. Our organization has worked with K-12 school districts for over 20 years, helping to improve accounts payable processes, and we've identified three main challenges to the accounts payable department. The first is loss efficiency due to paper and manual-based processes. Next, we see limited access to the necessary information causes problems for both the approvers and the accounts payable team. And finally, management often has poor visibility into the accounts payable process. Let's take a deeper look at each of these challenges. Our research shows that over 50% of accounts payable staff time is spent on just managing simple transactional tasks, such as keying in data, often into multiple systems, or tracking down paperwork. The majority of invoices are still being received in the mail, requiring additional man-hours of handling for sorting and scanning. And managing exceptions to the process can take 8 to 10 times longer than a regular transaction. This leads to data entry errors, misplaced documents, missing and delayed payments, and extra process steps. But inefficiencies aren't the only issue plaguing accounts payable departments. If your AP team was still coming to the office during the recent shelter-in-place orders, it's time to ask yourself why. The reason invariably was to manage paper or paper-based processes. Someone physically had to be in the office to move paper around. Even before the pandemic, the amount of remote workers involved in starting or approving accounts payable transactions was increasing. These workers greatly increased the complexity and the required communications, which increased time, in the accounts payable process. In many K-12 school districts, the number of originators and approvers outnumber the accounts payable staff by over 30 to 1. And finally, management's lack of visibility into the accounts payable budgeting and overall performance can lead to missed closing dates or uneven performance, more painful, lengthy, and therefore costly audits. And finally, and this is a big one with projected coming budget shortfalls, inaccurate or ineffective cuts to departments or programs. If the district doesn't know how a department or initiative is performing related to its funding, it's very hard to accurately determine how changing the funding will impact the success or failure. The default then is we're just going to make across-the-board cuts, which have varying impact on the department's ability to execute. So if lack of efficiency, access, and visibility is tied to negative performance, how can Content360 help? The first step is to increase efficiency in how invoices are captured regardless of the source. Whether via paper or email or other, Content360 allows the documents to be captured electronically as close to the source of origin as possible. Using sophisticated OCR technology, Content360 quickly determines what type of invoice has been received, and in most cases will route the invoices according to vendor name, maybe by alphabet, or PO or non-PO based invoices. If your district has an approval process, these invoices will follow the process automatically based upon who procured the solution, whether or not the product or service has been received, and even the dollar amount of the invoice. Once the approvals have been received, the invoice can be routed back to the finance department for one last verification before Content360 will automatically feed the data into your ERP system. This means that AP users either never had to key data or only with a minimal amount of effort, and they never had to key into two different systems. This greatly increases the accuracy and efficiency in the process. And once the check is cut, a non-negotiable copy will automatically be imported into Content360, where it will be related to the rest of the documents in the AP transaction. At each step of the process, Content360 notes who performed which steps, and users can be notified or reminded when action is required, which eliminates a lot of the back and forth communication between accounts payable and orderers or approvers. Taking a closer look inside Content360's advanced capture functionality, we find that Content360 can automatically capture the invoice, regardless if it was a scanned document or an email. After performing OCR on the invoice to extract the necessary data, Content360 will classify each page to group invoices together or determine if the document is an invoice versus a statement. This helps minimize duplicate invoice payments. The extracted invoice data is compared against the contracted amount or terms, or ERP data, greatly improving accuracy. Finally, the invoice and data are delivered to Content360 for final approval. The ability to automatically capture, categorize, extract, and validate data before it is keyed into the ERP system greatly speeds up the entire AP process. In fact, we talked to many districts who haven't encouraged their vendors to email invoices because that just adds the step of having to print them to their process. Overall, the routing of invoices electronically greatly increases the visibility into the process because at any point, management can view dashboard-style reports to see how the underlying process is performing. This allows decision-making based upon facts instead of hunches. Content360 helps K-12 school district accounts payable departments to increase efficiency while not sacrificing accuracy, securely expand access to needed information to all district employees, and greatly increases visibility for management into the accounts payable process. To learn more about how we can help or to receive an ebook overview of this information, click the link below. Thank you very much, and we look forward to helping you and your district improve your accounts payable process.